This evening, you're going to hear a little bit more about the roadmap to success, and I'm very fortunate that in the overall introduction, it was framed as a culture of learning, that we are all here to learn a little bit more about what we do within our district and about how we as educators can involve parents in the success of our children's education and how we can work together to improve education in all of our classrooms within Thames Valley. And you're going to, within Thames Valley, within the schools, and certainly within the groups that we work with from an administrative point of view and for all of our teachers and other staff, we are working hard to build a culture of learning and innovation. And we all need to see ourselves as learners. I don't think any one of us, I know I don't have all the answers, I probably have just a fraction of knowledge, but I always want to put myself out there to learn from other people. And I think that's what tonight is all about, in that spirit of learning. So this evening, you've heard from Lisa, and you've heard from our two co-chairs, and later on in the program you're going to hear from two of our superintendents who will talk about the board improvement plan for student achievement and the school and the blueprint, My Blueprint, which is provincially licensed software that is used by our secondary and elementary students to help prepare a plan for the future and looking at post-secondary education. And I know when you're looking at that piece of software and you're thinking, what can a grade 1 student do in terms of planning their future? But of course it takes students where they're at and plans accordingly as they move through elementary education and secondary. But both of the presentations will speak directly about the role of parents, and we value the knowledge, the experience, and the expertise and skills that parents bring to the education of children. And as a school district, we continually look for ways to improve the ways in which we engage parents and work with parents as partners in education. And of course, we aren't perfect within the district. We always focus on how we can improve as a district, and I think this is one area where we really need to pay more attention to and to really talk about what it means to be engaged as a parent in the education of children. So the support for education and from parents comes in many different forms. And I know somewhere up there my slides will turn. So parents, parents matter. And first of all, in terms of our board strategic plan, our board launched the strategic plan about 1.5 years ago. And our trustees worked hard. They spent hundreds of hours consulting with the community, with parents, with community members, with staff around what we want our system to look like in the future. So the strategic plan was launched with 7 commitments and a number of strategic actions to support our commitments. And so when we look at the plan itself, and you can find the plan on our board website, the plan talks and speaks about the role of parents in many different formats. When we're looking at putting the needs of students first, we want to make sure that we actively seek input and communicate effectively with parents in a transparent and a timely manner. We want to recognize and encourage leadership and support parent leadership in the work that we do. And as leaders in public education, we commit to take responsibility for the students and the resources entrusted in our care, and referencing to establishing, maintaining, and nourishing partnerships with parents. And finally, as leaders in public education, we commit to actively engaging our students, staff, families, and communities by encouraging and supporting parent involvement and participation and gathering feedback and input from the community around program planning and implementation. And yes, we have many ways where we can improve, and we look to you for giving us feedback on how we can work with you in a better way. And Chair Tisdale talked about the number of opportunities that we have within Thames Valley where parents are engaged in school councils, in home and school associations, in parent-teacher associations. We feel very blessed within Thames Valley that we have a rich and a long history and culture of involving parents in the education of our children. Secondly, we know that studies indicate that learning and achievement will improve when parents play an active role in their children's education, and that schools become even better when parents are involved. And so I put that challenge out to our school administrators who are also here this evening for them to work with all of the parent leaders and parents within their school community to really have a look at what you currently do and what you could potentially do to strengthen that partnership. We know it is important for our school board to have a positive learning culture and a welcoming school climate where we encourage parental engagement, respect it, and value it. And we have many examples of where that's working very well. Last year, we asked questions at the TVPIC symposia about how to engage parents in the education of their children at the board level and within schools. And there were a lot of great ideas that came back. And if I know some people are wanting to start and put all of those plans into place yesterday. I'm one of those ones, I guess maybe I'm a bit impatient. But just some of the feedback that we got from parents, from you, if you attended that session, included the following. You wanted more open communication between parents and staff and administration of schools. You wanted to continue to invite the parent voice into the decisions of the board. You want information sharing at all levels. And in a technical area, you want to make sure that our school and our teacher websites are up to date. And I know when we look at our own board website, that's always a work in progress to make sure that it is, the information is up to date and that it does change. And I know as I visit maybe not only our website but other websites, it's also discouraging to find when we have photos and information about a school administrator who might have been 2 or 3 administrators ago. So I put that challenge out to our school staff as well to make sure that we provide that positive profile. And I'm going to talk a little bit more in a few minutes about the work that we're doing around international student recruitment. But when you have your website and you take a look at it from an outsider's perspective and say, this is what this school is all about, is that the image that you want for your school, and is that the information that you want to show to the rest of the world? Because the world is watching what we're doing within Thames Valley, and we want them to. We're very proud of our work, and we want to make sure that we show our best side. You also said that you wanted us to use social media, email, e-news, school websites, and how to get information out in a variety of ways. And this evening, Trustee Polhill was talking about, you know, I should be tweeting. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should be tweeting. I'm not sure what I would tweet about. First of all, I have to figure out how to tweet, and then what to tweet. It is my life that interesting that people would want to know what I'm all about. But that's something that I need to, to learn more about in terms of how to use social media, because I'm just looking at all the young people in the crowd that are going, yes, that's your world. As an older person, that is not something maybe I've grown up with, but this old dog can learn a few new tricks. So that's one of the new tricks that I need to learn. But that's just, other ways that we can communicate. And I think as a school district the size of Thames Valley, communication is always a work in progress. And people will, I think one area is where all of us will fall short in terms of getting the message out that we want and making sure that it is accurate and reflects what we want it to reflect. You also asked about a contact list of who's available to talk to about issues, and that's a discussion with that I need to have with senior team in terms of making sure that we put out information about, who has information about certain programs or certain schools, and have that profiled maybe in a better way. You would also like the opportunity for parent participation at board meetings, Q&A, and that's something I think that, should be discussed, but we have an opportunity within our Thames Valley board meetings for public consultation, and requests can be made to our trustees around opportunities to get in front of the board. But we do have many opportunities around, if you've ever heard of school ARCs and accommodation reviews, that's an opportunity. I know trustees are putting their head down on that we've, there are really good things that come out of ARCs. I know there are schools that are closed, but some good things do come out of ARCs. But again, an opportunity to consult with the public, consult with parents about what we need to do to improve our system. And workshops, tips, sheets, best practices, and focus groups. And we had an example this evening where Lisa talked about some of the practices that are going on in some families of schools. So excellent suggestions. We've got more and more examples of what we could do, and it's just a matter of prioritizing and getting at some of these things in a different way. The third slide, how parents, guardians, caregivers can get involved. Obviously, you're here this evening because you are involved in a school council or home and school or some other parent-teacher association. That's a great way to be involved. And home and school, there's also TVPIC. So don't rule out becoming involved in TVPIC as the organization and the committee. Volunteering in school activities is also an excellent way, and if everyone plays a little part, then they can make great things happen. We always put out where we're changing a board procedure policy, it always is publicized on our website for parents and anyone to give us some feedback on some draft policies and procedures. And I must say that we get very little input and feedback. So we do a push email out to people. So please consider that, because we do want feedback on policies and procedures. It's a very important role of our board and trustees, and the more feedback we can get on policies, then I think the better things will go in schools and departments. We also have a way that you can get involved with our secondary school parents. There's the secondary portal where you can get an ID and password, and you can log in and find out what your children's marks are like and how that's going, as well as attendance. And I know students may not want to talk to parents about that, but know that that's available, and you can contact your school administrator or go on the Thames Valley website to check that out. And always supporting children in their work, whether or not it's within the classroom, outside the classroom, or with homework. That's a great way for any parent, caregiver, or guardian to get involved. So wanted to talk very briefly about what's new within Thames Valley, and I hope if I'm talking about certain things and it's not showing up in the slide, somebody could give me the cue that it's not matching. So I wanted to share a little bit about a few things about what's new. And this last spring we launched the virtual tour, and for those of you that have not heard about the virtual tour, it's a series of about 25 short videos that profile and document the work that is going on in our schools and in our classrooms. It's an amazing visual, and I'm just going to show you one of the videos, and it is on TVNELP. Some people may say we have so many acronyms in education. TVNELP stands for Thames Valley Neighborhood Early Learning Program. So if all goes well with this video, you'll get a glimpse of one video that's on our virtual tour.
Going to school for the very first time can be an anxious time for little people and their parents. That's why the Thames Valley Neighborhood Early Learning Program, or TVNELP, was launched to help 3-year-old students with the transition to junior kindergarten. Children have the opportunity to visit their new school for a day on 3 different occasions with their parents by their side. Parent Carrie Fish says it's been a positive transition for her son Jeremy.
My son is a little bit anxious about coming to kindergarten and being able to come to the school and see where it is and spend some time doing things he likes, like puzzles and playing with blocks. It's comforting to him to know what it's going to be like when he arrives in September.
It's also a chance for community partners such as public health, library partners, speech and language staff, and several others to help get the students ready for junior kindergarten. Vice Principal of Westmount Public School, Melinda Curran, says it is truly a collaborative effort.
I think the biggest takeaway from the TVNELP program is the fact that we work with many different partners and we work as a school community to make it a very successful transition for all students, and we want all students to feel safe and belong in our community.
Learning supervisor Diana Goodwin says the TVNELP sessions help spark the students' enthusiasm for learning, which stays with them.
What's really exciting is to see children's faces. They're smiling, they're happy. We do give each child that comes to our TVNELP program a backpack, and the backpack is full of fun resources to use in the home. They also get a scrapbook and a book about going to school. So when they receive those materials and they walk out with their backpack, they know that the school is a place where we welcome them and where they can come and feel comfortable and safe.
And that is the feeling Carrie and her son Jeremy are taking from their sessions of TVNELP.
It's a relief because I won't be here next year to see him in the school, and he'll be doing it by himself. So it's nice for me to feel like when he says, I've gone to school, I've gone to the gym, I was in the office, I went to the library, that I can picture it and I know what that looks like in his world. So it's nice to feel like this is a familiar place for me as well.
The Thames Valley District School Board is committed to actively engaging our students, staff, families, and communities.
So this is one of about 25 videos, so when you go home this evening you might want to watch another couple of videos, but they're high quality and they tell the Thames Valley story as they represent our strategic commitments, and I think we've done a great job, and we're going to continue to add stories about what's happening within our schools, and I think it's a great way to profile that, especially as the world is watching Thames Valley. Very briefly, I know I'm running short of time and there are 2 other presenters this evening. What's new? Municipal elections. Monday, make sure you get out and vote. We have obviously trustees who are running in the election as elected officials. There is nothing more important in my mind than the role of trustee. Our board has a budget in excess of $845 million, and they are entrusted to that budget, and it is an incredibly important role. So make sure that you take the time to look at the candidates who are running for the election, and please make sure you get out and vote. Education, there's nothing more important in my mind than education, and it is something I think that we all need to, within our role of a civic-minded responsibility, we need to get out and vote. We have a new superintendent of student achievement. Paul McKenzie was appointed superintendent. It'll be effective the 1st of February 2015. In the meantime, Scott Hughes, who is one of our retired superintendents, is helping with us as we make the transition. Paul will be assuming his responsibilities in working with the Glendale, Ingersoll, and WCI families of schools. So if you are from those school communities, your new superintendent will start the 1st of February. I know that Paul is looking forward to meeting you and working with you. We have a French immersion for the French immersion elementary schools. We have a homework support hotline. and it is to support students in grades 3 through grade 8 in French immersion for all subjects. And you can either get telephone help or web support, email support for French immersion. And I think for some parents who have children in French immersion programs, they may not be able to speak French and they find that they're at a disadvantage. And so this is an amazing support that the government has funded. The support runs Monday through Thursday, email or phone support. You can check our Thames Valley website to get more information. I talked about the parent portal. We also have Superintendent Don McPherson has been working with a team on a new policy and procedure around concussions and concussion protocols. And that policy and procedure will be going to our policy working committee of the trustees next week. And it will be out for public consultation over the next, if it goes through, it's passed through policy working for 60 days for consultation. So please look at that one. That is a really important one as we want to make sure that our students are safe. What's new? Education, international student education strategy. I won't say too much about this other than we're looking at opportunities for staff and students around international education. We have a new officer that we've hired who is in China as I speak, and she is starting to look at some recruitment of students to come to Thames Valley in our secondary schools for next year. And there are most of the boards in Ontario have been recruiting students for a number of years, and we are just embarking on that new strategy. We also have on November the 13th, and school teams will come together, a secondary school innovation forum. We are hosting Tony Wagner, who is the author of Creating Innovators, and I believe that people here this evening will receive a copy of that book. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive before this evening, but for our secondary school administrators and for our parents who are associated with our secondary schools and possibly elementary, that's something we're going to be sending out information next week to our schools, but we hope that some of you will be able to join us on the evening of November the 13th at 6:30. It's at Beale Secondary School. And finally, our senior admin has developed an operational plan to support our strategic plan, and we will be taking that to the board within the next month. And that will give a little bit more of a glimpse in terms of how we are making our strategic plan come alive. For some of you who have been looking at our cashless, we're trying to go cashless in our schools. And to look at online payments. I know we've had there was a little bit of a rocky start, but this will assist, I think, parents, rather than sending wads of money to with their children to school, you can now make some online payments. And that's something that we need to do a bit more work on, but that's something that has been rolling out in our system. We're also looking at, we've just launched a new school locator. Again, it's on our website, and this will look at attendance areas and schools. So when you type in your address, you'll be able to see the attendance area for the school. There is a separate site for our student transportation service that gives you all the bus information, so don't confuse this one with the STS bus transportation and information. And this evening, you're going to hear from Michelle Deman, our Superintendent of Student Achievement, and Don McPherson, a Superintendent of Student Achievement, about the two initiatives. And with that, I would like to end by just thanking all of you in this room for participating in the symposium and for learning alongside administrators, parents, trustees, superintendents. We are all here to learn from each other and with each other. Thank you to all of the participants, to TVPIC for hosting this. They're listed on your placemat. at your table, thanking our presenters, all of our community members, and I think you've had a chance to pick up some information around the edges of the room earlier this evening. But I'd like to thank all of our community members for their displays and their participation, and certainly our staff who are presenting this evening. Thank you very much. I know that this session is videotaped, part of it for tomorrow evening. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend tomorrow night's session, so I think this video will be shown to that group. I have 2 full days of meetings in Toronto, but thank you very much for the opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you tonight.